I think Victini is actually a close call. I think you could argue banning Victini. Honestly, it's probably not even that insane without the event moves. It's probably like Gengar-ish. Without Counter, Superior kind of fucking sucks balls. Probably like around like where Leafeon is. Low B tier, I would say. Ambor is pretty good. Flame Charge is really, really nice for setting up sweeps. Flame Charge plus Workup can basically sweep entire teams. I think this is better than Infernape. I think this is like here. And then Samurott is really average. It's probably worse than Feraligatr. Watchog is pretty bad. It gets Hypnosis. That's the only redeeming quality, so I'll put it like here. Herdier gets Intimidate and Stab Return. That's pretty good. Puts it in B tier. Better than Lanoon. Somewhere here in B tier, I don't know. Liepard, even if it gets Prankster, is just not good. It's just not good. Probably C tier somewhere. Simisage, Simisear, and Simipour. These are all buffed in Blaze Black, so we gotta be careful here. These are normally not that good. Still probably holds up that Simipour is like the best somewhere here. Simisear probably follows somewhere here. Actually, Simipour is not this good. They're all like, honestly, they're all like down here. They're all like down here. Simipour gets Scald. That's pretty okay. But Simisear is like here. And then Simisage is like, I don't know, here. Musharna is so slow. It deals a lot of damage though. It's not terrible. I think it's somewhere around here where like Hariyama sits. Mid B tier. This is probably about as good as Pidgeot. Maybe a little better. Zebstrika is pretty good actually, despite being horribly ugly. Probably around here with the other electric duders. Boldore, I think this line is a lot worse than the Geodude line because Geodude is just so powerful early game. But they're still pretty good. You can give Boldore like an Eviolite and shit. I think these are not significantly worse than the Geodude line. Just having no stab magnitude and shit early makes them a little bit, but not by a lot. Boulder probably is about here. And then Gigalith. You have to remember the rock types just are also not as good in that gen anymore, but they're still okay. Gigalith is probably around like here. Swoobat! Does Swoobat get simple in vanilla? Nope. So Swoobat is just basically a little bit better than Xatu. Somewhere like here. It's honestly, it's probably like closer to here. Excadrill is very, 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 very good. Probably S tier. It's probably better than Arcanine. Excadrill is pretty fucking strong. Audino is not bad. You can do some nasty fucking strats with Audino. You can get it mad early too. And get some good normal type stab. It's not bad. It's like Bieberell-ish, maybe worse actually. It gets some interesting support moves. It's probably around here somewhere. Conkeldurr is extremely good. One of the best fighting types, if not the best fighting type, outside of like Lucario or some crazy shit, or maybe Heracross. Drain Punch is really good. Iron Fist is really good. Mach Punch is really good. Super bulky. Deals a shit ton of damage. It's like Machamp with a better move pool, basically. So it gets to go like here. And then Girder, if you're not doing trade evolutions, it's basically as good as Machoke. Seismitoad is better than Whiscash, worse than Gastrodon for sure. It's probably still pretty good though. Water ground type is really hard to not be a good type with, so I'll put it around here. Sock is kind of okay. Probably sits around where I would put like Hitmonlee and shit, maybe a little bit above, somewhere here. And then Thraw is like kind of garbage because it's so slow. Throw is probably closer to like these guys. Actually, you know what? Throw can be okay later. Oh, Throw gets Guts, right? Okay, yeah, Throw is pretty good. Never mind. Throw can be like here. It's just pretty slow. Levany, it's okay. It's somewhere like here. It's like C tier. It deals a good amount of damage though. It's probably better than Cacturne. It's probably around where Pansage is or Simisage. This guy is decent. We can't get like speed boost or anything, right? Honestly, he's not that good without any of those tools that you get in like from like breeding or hidden abilities or whatever. Hold on. What's its learn set look like in Gen 5? like complete trash. Level 74 Megahorn. Okay, welcome to low C tier, my friend. Probably better than Mawile, yeah. Whimsicott is pretty good. Gets a lot of interesting tools. Prankster is really nice. Sleep Powder is really nice. Gets fairy typing later on. This is one of the better grass types out there, I think. I think it's a little bit above average, actually. Somewhere like here. Lilligant can have Petal Dance own tempo, I think, right? That's pretty good. Also, I think a little bit above average, actually. Probably better than Pelipper. I've never used a Basculin. No idea how good it is. Crocodile is pretty good. Gets Intimidate, gets a Dark typing. It's definitely A tier. I'm just trying to figure out where. With Intimidate, I think it's like around where like these guys sit. Darmanitan can be pretty good. I think Darmanitan is very strong. Just like bursts teams open. It's kind of like Infernape except a little bit worse. It's probably around here. I've never used this thing. It's probably really insane though. Maractus is Garbo tier. Probably somewhere around these guys. It's probably here. This gets Shell Smash, which is really, really good. So that alone puts it out of F tier. Bug Rock is kind of a shit typing if you're not Armaldo. I'd probably rank it around somewhere like high C tier. It's okay. Crafty is very average. It has a really good typing and it's a unique typing, so it's more valuable. So I think it's a little bit above average, or like it's high B tier, I think. It gets decent moves too. It's just very slow is the problem. It's probably around where Metachamp sits, except a little bit higher. Sigilyph is actually surprisingly good. You can do a lot of crazy shit with Sigilyph. I don't know what its learn set looks like in vanilla exactly. Let me check. But like Magic Guard is really fucking useful. And you do get Cosmic Power. You can teach this Roost. It gets so much utility. Tailwind. It doesn't get stored power. Without stored power is not as good, but it's very, very just useful utility mon kinda. Probably in line with like Jumpluff. A little bit better. Zoroark is pretty great. You can confuse the AI a lot with Zoroark, and that's really useful. You can use a Zoroark to sweep Ultra Necrozma, right? Illusion on a Dark type is pretty good when a lot of Psychic types only carry Psychic type moves, so you can cheese a lot of shit with it. I think Zoroark's actually pretty damn great. Probably somewhere here in A tier. Maybe even a little bit better. Cofagrigus is pretty okay. It's not as good as Dusclops, I think, but I think it's still above average for stalling purposes if you're using healing items. It's probably somewhere around here, though. Shell Smash is pretty good. That makes this better than average. Well, not better than average, but better than the average garbage Pokemon, I guess. Probably around here. Somewhere in high C. Archeops is really feast or famine, obviously, but it can be very good. It's not as good as Aerodactyl, in my opinion. Acrobatics Flying Gem is pretty crazy, huh? It's probably around here. Garbodor is unfortunately very bad. It's worse than Muck, I would say. It gets Stockpile, though. But yeah, I think it's like... It sits with these guys. It might be a little bit better than Muck, actually. I'm not sure. Chinchino could be good if you get like the right ability and you give it like a King's Rock. Then it can be okay, but I think it's like low B tier. Its stats are just not that good, unfortunately. I might be underrating Chinchino. I haven't used it as much. It might be actually pretty decent. Gothitelle is way too slow, and it comes in at a generation where Psychic types are just no longer as good. It doesn't have anything that makes it like special or interesting. I mean, it has Shadow Tag for competitive, but that doesn't matter for Nuzlocke at all. I think Gothitelle is like just super like Dab Smack average. Dab Smack? Yeah, that's definitely what that's called. Smack Dab? I don't know. Reuniclus is basically the same Pokemon as Musharna, except it's a little bit better. Swanna can have its uses, but I think it's just very painfully average. It's somewhere around here. Oh, Chinchino gets Encore, huh? Yeah, okay. That's actually pretty good. Vanillux, it's an ice type. It's bad. Despite being decent offensively, it's always going to be below average by being an ice type. I'll put it like here. Deerling's evolved form. I forgot what it's called. It's actually okay. Hornleech is a good move if you're not using healing items. And even if you are using healing items, Hornleech is still pretty useful. Normal Grass is like an okay typing. I think this is like around here, like mid B tier. Maybe even a little bit higher. Maybe it's somewhere here. Emolga is like actually okay. Electric Flying is a pretty good typing. It doesn't deal a lot of damage or anything, but Volt Switch is a pretty fucking good move, and so is Acrobatics. This thing is actually kind of a monster. I think it's better than Ampharos. Carablast is garbage, and sometimes you can't evolve it. Probably worse than Combee. And I've never used an Escavalier before. I used one in Dark Rising, but I guess that doesn't really count, huh? Yeah. Amoonguss doesn't normally get a regenerator, right? It's still okay. It's better than Vileplume in my opinion. Somewhere like here. Late game Spore is nice. This gets a lot of useful moves. I think this is really good. I think Jellicent is actually a really good bulky water type combined with a bulky ghost type, which are two really useful Pokemon, and you just combine them to one team slot. That's pretty great. I think it sits pretty solidly in mid A tier. Alola is just like a very standard bulky water type with a bunch of utility moves, so it's like a bit above average. It's probably somewhere here. Galvantula is a very unique typing and kind of shits on the Elite Four in Gen 5, and Compound Ice Thunder is actually pretty gross. I think it's probably somewhere in line with Emolga, maybe a little bit better. Also, Compound Ice is just kind of nice. Okay, Ferrothorn is better than a lot of these steel types. It's definitely better than Forretress because it gets Leech Seed, which is super, super good. I think it's better than Registeel. Might be better than Bronzong, dude. Ferrothorn is really fucking good. Is it better than Skarmory? Yeah, I think so. I think it's better than Chansey even. Honestly, I think it's like up here. Ferrothorn is so good. If Klinkklang's Learn Set was a little bit better, I think it would be pretty high in A tier. The problem is it's too reliant on like basically 2 moves for coverage and it gets blocked by a lot of shit, but it can still sweep with Shift Gear. Like, it's not bad. It's like a really bad Dragon Dance mon with really good resistances. Turns out that that's a pretty good Pokemon, I think. However, it evolves really late. Its pre-evolved forms are not that good, so we'll smack it down by quite a bit here, and I think that puts it somewhere here. Yeah, this seems about right. Electros is pretty great because it has no weaknesses and it's an electric type. That's all it does, but that's enough to be pretty damn good. Algium is kind of bad. Calm Mind, Recover, those things are kind of nice. In the end, it's just another slow Gen 5 Psychic type. Why are all these in the game? These should all be ranked a little bit higher, though, honestly. Like, Reuniclus can go here, and then Musharna can go, like, here. Chandelure is pretty great. High special attack, very unique typing, very useful typing. Give it some speed EVs, outspeed some shit. Shadow Ball, Fire Blast, Flamethrower. You're golden. Kind of a late evolution, but not really. But its pre-evolved forms aren't that terrible either, so I think Chandelure sits somewhere here in mid-A tier. Haxorus, I think, is pretty damn good. However, the problem is you get it at level 48, which is kind of late. And then if you look at the Learn Set, it actually does get Dragon as a 32. You can move Relearn that, it gets Swords Dance as well. Oh yeah, Haxorus is pretty damn broken. I think it's better than Dragonite. I don't think it's better than Gliscor. I think it's easier to set up than Dragonite, probably. Even though it's not as versatile. Oh man, this fucking thing sucks so much. It has some niche uses, I guess, but I think for the most part, ice types are just bad. Good special defense on this, I guess. Actually deals kind of a lot of damage too. I think it's basically like Regice. Shelmet is obviously really bad, but sometimes you can't evolve it, so I'm ranking it. I think it's probably a little bit better than Carablast. And then I've never used Excelgor before in my life. I've never used this before. Stunfisk is like not good. It's like Claydol tier kind of. Mienshao is really good. The question is Regenerator a hidden ability? It is not. Alright, yeah, this is super broken. U-turn plus Regenerator on stats like these is insane. If you get Regenerator on this, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. Without Regenerator, it's still pretty good. The fact that only half of them have Regenerator probably puts it like here. Druddigon. It's a dragon type. It's not a very good dragon type. Does it get Dragon Dance? It does not. So it's pretty bad. It's really slow. It's kind of bulky. It's a dragon type. Honestly, it's probably like somewhere around here. Golurk is pretty strong, pretty unique typing, interesting moves, pretty good Learn Set. It's above average for sure, but not by much. It's probably somewhere around like here-ish. Yeah, this looks about right. Bouffalant is way too slow to do anything, despite having decent attack and decent bulk. It's just too slow. It's like a worse Ursaring. The problem with Bisharp is you get it so late, so most of the time you'll just be running Pawniard, which sucks ass, but Bisharp is pretty good. But it gets knocked down by the super late evolution by quite a bit here, and we'll put it like somewhere here. Braviary is like a pretty okay normal flying type without anything super special going on. It's worse than Dodrio. It's probably better than Fearow. Probably somewhere like here. Braviary gets Sheer Force. Hidden ability though, right? Oh, it does get Sheer Force sometimes. Okay, that makes it a little bit better. Yeah, that probably puts it around here. Flying Dark type is an interesting typing. pretty defensive stats, but I've found it to be actually really disappointing in Nuzlocke. Despite being pretty useful in competitive, I don't think it holds up in Nuzlocke. I think it's kind of like a little bit better Xatu is kind of how it plays. You get it so late too. The evolution is so damn late. So you could argue it's sometimes worse than Xatu. I'll put it like here. Honestly, Solrock and Lunatone are ranked way too high. They're probably down here. Heatmore is kind of garbage. Not a very good fire type at all. Durant, however, is amazing. Very fast, good typing, great typing even. Good learn set. Does everything it needs to. It's like mid-A tier. Hydreigon is S tier for sure. Borderline bannable. It doesn't have any crazy boosting strats going on with like Dragon Dance or whatever, or Quiver Dance or something, but it has really good coverage and a really good typing. Be crazy to say that this is not S tier. It's just like available really, really late. If you can get it though, it's really crazy. But because it's available so late at 64, sometimes you just won't be using it, which makes it awkward to rank. I'm gonna put it in S tier, I guess. Volcarona gets Quiver Dance and has an interesting typing. Pretty good coverage. Quiver Dance is pretty good. I think it goes somewhere here. Definitely A tier. Just also evolves so late. I could rank Swilus, I guess, yeah. Swilus is like okay. It's like nothing really special. It's probably around like here. I guess Hustle Outrage is pretty good, huh? Yeah, this is actually not terrible at all. It's probably closer to here. The Musketeers are kind of hard to rank. You should probably ban Terrakion and Cobalion, though. I think for most purposes, this is going to be what people do. And I think Virizion is actually like kind of mid-A tier. It's like okay. It's like somewhere here. I've never used the Beast forms. They'd probably be pretty insane. Wait, ban those two? I mean, they're guaranteed encounters, right? They're pretty damn strong. Actually, I've never used any of the genies. No idea if they're ban worthy or not. These are obviously banned. Lando would probably be banned if I had to guess, but again, I've literally never used it. I think base Kyurem is kind of shit. It's not that good. I mean, Stab Ice Beam is nice, but it's also an ice type. I guess I've also never used Kyurem, though. I've used Keldeo. Keldeo's pretty good. I think Keldeo sits somewhere up here.